Hello and welcome to Business 24. My name is Omobolanle Adeshuyi. Today on the program, we will be focusing on President Buhari's tax regime and its impact on Nigeria's business environment. Now, since coming to office in 2015, the Buhari administration has introduced policies that have resulted in Nigerians paying more for some services. The administration has set its policy thrust around reviving the economy, fighting corruption, and combating insecurity. Though it has achieved some and fallen short of most of its promises, but more Nigerians have felt the pinch of its economic policies. In the 2020 Finance Bill, there are over 50 taxes and levies collected by the federal, state, and local government, leading to multiple taxation. In addition to the excess of taxes and levies in Nigeria, it is more worrisome where different taxes or levies on the same income or profit base is imposed by federal, state, and local government tax authorities. Now, Nigeria recorded a total tax collection of about 8.8 trillion naira in the last 5 to 7 years, translating to a tax to GDP ratio of 6.1%. But of this figure, it is yet to reflect in the economy as the government has continued to borrow to fund its projects. Now, after this break, a tax expert and member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, Olusegun Okunade, joins me as we take a look at the impact of tax regime of the Buhari administration on Nigeria's business environment. Please stay with us.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes?
I have a solution for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Sabi cook the banga. Don't go enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga efo riro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extract for tasty African cuisine.
Welcome back. Now let's explore President Muhammad Buhari's tax administration and its impact on the Nigeria's business environment. Joining me via the phone is Olusegun Okunade, member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN. Thank you so much for joining us, Olusegun.
Good afternoon, Omobolanle, and thank you to all our viewers. Good afternoon, and pleasure to be here.
Now, tax revenue has for centuries remained the backbone for economic growth and development in advanced economies. However, in Nigeria's situation, it is completely different, a country with one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios in the world. Now, analysts have said that Nigeria's tax potential is currently underutilized. What do you make of this reality?
Thank you very much. It's a very germane topic, considering the fact that tax plays a major role in the revenue of any economy, critically for Africa like us. But we need to put things in the right perspective by making people to understand that there is a kind of trust deficit on the part of the taxpayer, even to the government, in the sense that some of the revenue generated their tax that are meant to provide certain social and basic add so much deficit of it, and it gives the taxpayer so much burden of saying that this will not be paid. But give it that it may, government on their part are striving to make sure that they make ends meet through this revenue collection from the taxpayer, starting from the federal government to the state and to the local government. You and I understand that the company income tax is basically to the FIRS, where you have the pay distributed to the state, and the local government are saddled with some of the levies and fine that is expected. But the problem we are faced with is that so many people are complying to some of these taxes that are being proposed or that are being imposed on the people, but the dividend of it are lacking in what some of the people that are supposed to benefit from it, they are not getting. And this is really putting the government in a very tight corner to make sure that they are not getting the necessary patronage that is expected of them. And that's why we'll see till tomorrow that the potential is still high if the government can increase the confidence that the taxpayer has in them.
So how do you think the government can go about this? Because you talked about trust deficit, the fact that taxpayers are not seeing the dividend of the tax they are paying. How do we bridge this gap?
Yeah, first and foremost, if you look at the tax administration, the Federal Inland Revenue recently did something that is very interesting to make sure that the administration of tax is easier for collection by the introduction of the tax promax. This you can do at the comfort of your home. You can log in certain things even as you make your monthly returns. That's the first step. People having that understanding of them being able to pay their tax with ease. That one, they are improving on it. Like we said, there is no ID place for anybody, because majority of these things that you need to do is interrelated with some other things that have to do with your bank. As you log in your returns on monthly basis, it's being synchronized by your activities that will get another thing. That's the first step, which we believe will assist. But the other areas are when you pay tax, is give and take. And when we say give and take, when I pay tax, what do I get in dividend? I'm supposed to enjoy some basic amenities like road infrastructure, of which you can see of late that the federal government through FIRS are having an handshake with certain organization in providing tax credit for the renovation of roads. This was done last year with Dangote in rehabilitating the road between Oshodi, Apapa Oshodi Expressway to Yadowolo. They did the same thing for Lokoja or Bajana. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of what the citizens expect from them. Because if you are paying tax, you expect that you have good road networks for you to be able to make delivery of some of those things, and you'll be encouraged to do more. Let me give you a typical example for state. During the administration of Raji Fashola and Dr. you discovered that the compliance on the level of people, that was when Fowler was with the NRS chairman. The compliance level of the people of Lagos was high because there was dividend for democracy.
You could see the results.
Discovered that there was dividend for democracy in the sense that taxpayers, everywhere you go, you will see an emblem, taxpayers' money working, this and that. But if government can improve on the infrastructure that some of the people that are paying these taxes are making available. Come to think about it also, power. An average company that pays huge tax relies solely on alternative power supply, which shouldn't be. They expect that certain infrastructure must be put in place. And these are the deficits that we are talking about that is deterring some of those that are supposed to be paying this tax that they are doing. So that's just the problem. If you can close the gap a bit and people start having benefit of some of the taxes that they pay, then definitely the level of compliance will increase and the revenue level will increase.
Well said. But one of the major challenges with developing businesses in Nigeria is also the plethora of taxes and levies, the issue of multiple taxation, and for the umpteenth time, it has become a significant contributor to poor ranking of Nigeria on the World Ease of Doing Business Index. Now, currently, Nigeria ranked 131 among 190 economies in the ease of doing business, according to the latest World Bank annual ratings. The rank of Nigeria improved to 131 in 2019. That's from 146 in 2018. However, it is still a long walk to freedom. How can the issue of multiple taxation be solved?
Yeah, I think we need to first start with enlightening and educating our people what is expected of them to pay to the federal government, what is expected to the state, and what is expected to the local government. And in the process of discerning some of these things, we discover that when you are enlightened and you know the things that is expected of you and the people to pay to, you will be able to challenge the concerned authority. What I have observed in my practice over time is that certain set of people does not even know what is expected to be paid to a certain level. So people hide under their ignorance and capitalize on it to explore what
Sorry to butt in. Whose responsibility is it to enlighten and sensitize the people?
Yeah, the revenue agency, FRS, the state internal revenue, and possibly the local government. But at the same time, it's a give and take stuff. Some of these enlightenment are we ready to just buy into it because of what I said at the beginning of it, which is trust deficit. Most people are not even ready to learn maybe one or two things. And then for corporate organization, that's why you see so many people trying as much as possible to engage consultants in interfacing between them and some of the people, because the trust deficit does not even want them to do it all alone, because they feel there are several ways that you need to do, people are not just straightforward about it. But I think the FRS on their part are coming out by making sure that some of this process are becoming seamless. Human interference has been a major role in what we have been doing before, but with the advent of this tax probe introduced by FRS, we discover that things are being done easily. You can do it at the comfort of your office without any interference. All you need to do is every activities of yours that you need to plug in have been done. So this enlightenment is a continuous thing. You know, we've had a gap before now, but with the enlightenment, continuous, we believe that individuals will have more enlightenment on who and who they are supposed to pay certain taxes that is agreeable to them at a particular time, every time.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a breather. We'll be back to continue the conversation. Please stay with us.
Thank you.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Thank you for staying with us on Business 24. We're still discussing President Muhammadu Buhari's administration on tax and also its impact on Nigeria's business environment. I still have Olusegun Kwande with me on the phone. Thank you so much for staying with us, Olusegun.
Thank you very much, Mobalan.
Now let's look at the issue of tax evasion. FIRS has said it loses about $15 billion annually to tax evasion. And of course, this is owing to poor fiscal policies, government and taxpayers' attitude, and the administrative loopholes, as well as inefficiency. What are the short and long-term solutions to these issues?
Thank you very much. From the highlight you gave on this aspect of tax evasion, number one that FRS alluded to is the ease in the process of administering this tax. And I think with what I said at the first segment of it, the introduction of this electronic way of filing your tax, which is via ProMax, I think it will go a long way in improving the administration of tax. The second of it is the aspect of people having this deep commitment in seeing that the value for the taxes they are paying is translated to what they see in the environment. It goes a long way. You and I will understand that if you go to the developed world, so many of them pay higher taxes than we do in this country, and the compliance level is higher. Why? Because there are certain basic infrastructure that is being provided by the government because they are taxpayers to that country. And if these two can be worked on our side here, this will reduce the operation cost of corporate organizations and even individuals. Come to think about it, if there is constant power supply, the cost at which you avail to alternative power supply can be plowed into the production cost. And when that is done, what do you get? An increase in the tax that you are going to pay. Don't forget that tax are based on revenue. And when your revenue increases, definitely the tax commitment to the government will increase. So that's why we have said again that the reason why people evade tax is for them to cover up some of the shortfalls that the government is not providing for them. And if this is administered properly and people can see value for why, for the reason of paying tax, definitely it will increase their commitment. Indeed, that was the example I gave those days during the time of Lagos. If we get some of these taxes, let's have a billboard where you can see your taxpayers' money is working. We are improving on this part of the world. We are giving this water. We are giving this basic amenities because we are using your taxpayers' money. With that, you are winning the loyalty of the taxpayer, and they will be committed to pay more. I think these are very germane and fundamental for people to evade tax. Also, there are loopholes that people look out to because of the corruption and the people that administer these taxes. But I believe with the improved administrative way of collecting some of these tax, this will be discouraged and definitely will get more revenue even to the federal government.
I was also going to touch on the fact that a lot of people have been calling for the government to spread the tax net, because we see even the big wigs in the economy not wanting to pay taxes.
Yeah, you see, the big wigs are not willing to pay taxes. The function of the administrative, and we have said this time to that number that how many of those that are culpable are being brought to justice is the deficiency on the part of our judiciary system, because they feel that those that are higher, but it's not only the area of tax. Even when you talk about the port authority, so many people bring big vehicles and they evade the duties that they are supposed to pay because they know who is who. Until we put a system in place, it's an institutional failure, which we must definitely improve upon to make sure that irrespective of who you are, transaction should be carried out the way it is. And that's what brought me to the other side, that until we remove the human element that is being interfaced in such a way that most of your transactions, you see, now we have things that are related. Your BVN can expose us to some of the transactions that you have carried out, even as a corporate organization or as an individual. And from there, we can find out what are equitable as gifts, what are the things that you brought in as your income, and we'll tax you on it. And it's not a function of because you know the chairman or because you know somebody high up there. You have to evade it until we come to that level at which we make sure that those that are supposed to pay tax pay what is agreeable to them, and we take away the human factor of man no we may not be
and also bringing perpetrators to book, because that is very important. There's a tax law that has to be obeyed.
Of course, and that's where the judiciary arms of the three arms of government needs to play a major role. But the judiciary will not work if the people that are concerned report such cases to them, and that's why we have asked that people should be open. Let's be transparent, because these countries are. If we all do what is expected of us at every table, and you know that you can't buy me over, definitely you do what is needful. And once you bring one or two things to two people to justice about what is obtainable in tax, look at what happened with Trump. You could not miss it out, because there is a system that can stop with you, irrespective of whatever you need to do. Oversaid that. So we should put the right thing in the right perspective, even as a nation, and make sure that those that are culpable are punished under the law. This will serve as deterrent to anyone who decide to evade tax.
Now, there have been mounting calls for an increase in tax exemptions, especially for startups and small businesses. How much impact do you think this will have on SME development, and that's if it's implemented?
Yeah, I think people advocating for increase in tax by the startup is wrong. You and I understand the policy that the federal government brought to bear for the startup business. You know, if you have a business below 25 million, you are exempted from paying taxes. So these are some of the things to ease the process of the startup business, because the most problematic area is to start up. If you are able to pick up, as soon as you cross the threshold of 25 million, you are liable to pay some of these taxes that is enjoyable. So I think people yearning that they should do, this is not something that we need at this point in time. There are other taxes that these people can pay. You have your tax that you need to pay to the PE that is expected of you to pay to the state. You have certain levies. So those things you will still fulfill. But the one that has to go to the federal government, you might be losing it because of the provision on the ease of doing business. So I think it's something that should still be encouraged, so that our startup, the SMS, the small medium enterprise can grow. And as they grow and they progress, they cross the bar of the 25 million, and definitely they will be in the net of the people that will be contributing value, because we need to increase the basis at which we work. People, the level of unemployment is high, and if you don't increase the level of the SMEs that we have, then we are not going anywhere, because they take more than 60% of the, not the big ones, the multinational have just less than 10%, but the SMEs take up to 60%, and if those sectors are not growing, there is no how we can have an economic growth or economic development as a nation.
Now, let's talk about the finance bill that is before the National Assembly as we speak. Some experts are optimistic about the bill being a step in the right direction, and also showing that Nigeria is open for business. Now, some of the gains expected from the bill, when passed, are improved domestic revenue mobilization, accelerated international tax reforms to enhance the taxation of non-resident individuals and companies, and also implementation of financial sector reforms to support ongoing capital reforms, as well as enhancing trust in real estate investment. There's also the option of recapitalization of insurance companies. What are the benefits, or how do you see, what are your expectations of this bill that is currently in the House?
Yeah, if you have a story of from 2019, the Finance Act, to 2020, and it's been an improvement. Don't forget that before we came to be in 2019, this is an act that has actually been abandoned for over 20 years. And coming here, we have been saying that things have actually been put in the right perspective. One of the very catchy areas to me is the empowerment of the FIRS, being able to access the CID on turnover of foreign digital companies, that are transmitting or emitting or receiving signal, within the country. We've had a lot of activities that are going on in the digital world that we are not being captured, and that was what created problem for the likes of Twitter not too long, and trying to make things happen. So if some of the things that are highlighted, I have over 21 that I've actually studied, which have seen that if some of these things are implemented in the new finance act, definitely it will give rise to FDI, people will now know that at least we are putting the right administrative sense into taxation that is expected to make a business to grow. Because one of the problems we've been having is policy somersaulting. So you have it this time and the other time it's not. But with this finance administration, it's been straightening out the thing, and people are having more confidence. The only other aspect that we need is the political will to make sure that most of the revenue being generated are used in the development of infrastructure for businesses to grow in those areas. But it's a step in the right direction if we study some of those things that we have in the new finance act. It's going to add value to business and definitely make sure that the business, the economy grow even in a quantum way.
So in wrapping up, are there chances that these options or these aspects of the bill would be implemented if it becomes law? Because of course there are so many laws that are not being implemented in the country.
Yeah, the challenge we've always been having, like I said in a particular forum that I was this morning, is that Nigeria has the best policy worldwide. The only problem we have is the area of implementation. And I think this administration is trying in making sure that some of these things are implemented. It's not about the government saying, oh, you and I have a part to play in making sure that we disobey anytime there are defaulters that we know of. It may sound very odd, but that's the way we need to go about it. Because if somebody that is very close to you is doing something that will affect your generation of one, what stops you of raising the alarm and blowing the whistle? So it's a two things. It's not about the government alone, but we the citizens too on our part should take up the responsibility in making sure that some designated areas where people that are not doing the right thing, we can whistle you are there. Let's take advantage of it, and we call upon the Consumer Protection Agency to come up and make sure that some of the commitments on the part of the government, the part of the producer, the businesses are being complied to, so that we can have a sane environment for everybody to benefit on the long run.
I was going to ask if the people know what to do, because you just mentioned the fact that they should report when they see any defaulter in the regard of the finance bill. But do the people know what to do? Do they know what these requirements are?
Yeah, everybody knows what to do. If you go to some of these agencies, there are areas where you can drop some of your complaints. But individual will tell you that the problem is, do they act on them? But I keep saying, whether they act on it or they don't act on it, can you lodge your complaint? Somebody somewhere, we know that people are watching and they're taking note of it. Even when it's not being acted upon, by the time you disobey, even there are some that goes via social media now, and people are actually watching it. Those things, you can decide to just do whatever you like. But because people know that within a TV, if anything goes wrong, social media will pick you up. Even though it's not a valid area where you pass some of these things, I still encourage the media that when you go to some of these agencies and you see things that are wrong, those they are boxes where they keep that you should put suggestions and put those things, file it in there, let people know the area where you can win, even though in the social media, the truth of the matter is, ask your fans because most of the time we spread fake news.
Okay, we'll just leave it there.
Faster than any other thing.
Thank you so much. It's been a robust conversation with you, Olisheston Okoade, member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN. Thank you so much for your time on Business 24 this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, this is where we will be drawing the curtains on Business 24. Thank you so much for watching. I am Omobolanle Adeshuyi. It's bye for now.
iBrandTV. Business first.